My presentation.
All right. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. We are here with our second masterclass about journaling. Last time we did basics, and our speaker guest is Marcela Daza, just like last time. So happy to have you again, Marcel.
Assalamu alaikum, everybody. I'm so glad that we are going to do now the second part. Was really a great experience last time. So I hope this one will be as good as the first one, maybe better, because we are going to talk about a really hot topic. And one of the reasons that this masterclass was made, and it's everything about mental health.
All right. So that's interesting. I want to see, the angle of mental health related to journaling. I think a lot of people will be interested since because of staying at home because of COVID has
Yeah.
spiked, mental issues in everybody. We're
Yes.
facing a different time, and I guess a little help can go a long way.
Yeah, it's
So
been
I'm personally really interested.
it's been a difficult couple of years for everybody, and having tools as easy as journaling to help you cope with the emotions and the feelings. It's really great because the effort is minimum. It's something that you can do at home. It's something that you can do to deepen the relationship with yourself. So it's very insightful at the end. I think we should wait a little bit, or should we start
Yeah,
now?
let's just give it like 5 more minutes so the
Yes.
link is circulated and all that.
Yeah.
We already have someone who has joined us, and here is her message. She says, "Hello, Assalamu alaikum, Urva."
Okay. Yeah, I can see people coming in. I'm so excited.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right. So, welcome to
We'll
the
try
session, Nida.
to
Hope you
check
learn.
also the people texting me for the link, inshallah.
Yeah.
Let me check if I'm sharing the right one.
All right, so we have Sadia Kamran here with us, and she's saying, I think she's replying to Nida. So she's asking, "How are you? Hello."
Assalamu alaikum. Hello. While everybody is connecting, maybe we should go or maybe we should try to do a recap of what we did last time, what we talked about a little bit. What do you
Yeah,
think?
sorry,
I was
I
thinking when
didn't
people
get you.
start connecting, we can talk about like a little bit of recap of last.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
Okay.
sure. That's a
So
good
basically,
idea.
what we talked last time was the introduction to journaling, the benefits, a little bit of the benefits of journaling, and also some tools to make the spreads and the parts of journaling. Um, Basically, what journaling is to record either analogically or digitally the events in our lives, our feelings, our thoughts, our ideas, our goals. Saying that it's really overwhelming to see the journaling community when we want to start, because we see these beautiful spreads and we see the structures and things, but at the end of the day we don't need fancy stationery or special tools to journal. It's just ourselves with a paper or our phones or our tablet, and a connection with our emotions and what we want to achieve, what we are. Basically, is that. For today's
Hmm.
workshop, we try to reduce the because this is super extensive, as is very subjective. So we try to come up with some easy tools for people to start journaling, with the purpose of cope with emotions, especially in these times, with the purpose of being more intentional and more mindful when journaling. When you
Hmm.
start journaling more mindfully, you can see the results easily. But
Hmm.
journaling is not for everybody, and it requires time and it requires patience to get where we want to get. I
Hmm.
said last time that I consider ourselves beings in constant evolution. So we change all the time, and journaling can help us grow and change, and we can go back and see our growth and see the person we used to were, and the person we want to become.
Hmm.
So in today's workshop, what we're going to do is talk about some specific tools. We reduce it to mood trackers. We want to talk about gratitude logs and also about the About Me spread. That is a fun tool to have.
Hmm. All right. So we'll talk about mood trackers and a gratitude
Mood
spread.
trackers, gratitude logs, and we're going to talk about the About Me spread. That is a fun bonus. We also will talk
Okay.
about the benefits of journaling for mental health and how to do it properly. So
All
you,
right. All right.
okay, we
Hmm.
have people now coming in. Should we start?
Yeah. Yes. Let's start. I guess it's
Okay.
almost 10 minutes. So yes.
Oh, maybe I wanted to ask if someone has any question from before, from the last session, or any comments or something, so we can give a little bit more
Uh,
of time.
uh, okay. I don't see any questions for right now.
Okay.
If I'll just like last time, whenever I get them, I'll just put them up on the screen, and when you can talk
Okay.
about them, we can do that. All right?
Okay. Let me know because when I'm with the presentation, I cannot see the
Okay. Yeah.
comments popping in. Okay,
All
so
right.
we'll start with our presentation. We decided to call these masterclass in specific on wine because one of the benefits is the ability to release in the paper or in the digital medium, um, whatever we have piling up inside.
Hmm.
So
Marcel, we
this is
have a
also,
comment. Do you want to
yes,
get to
sure,
it right now? Do you see
yes,
it on
yes,
the
yes.
screen?
Let me go back to, okay. You said journal is not for everyone. Um, what I try to say is the constantly journaling is not for everybody. People don't feel as comfortable as others writing or getting in touch with their emotions, or they don't have time, or they don't have the interest. So yeah, I truly believe it's not for everyone as any other skill or hobby. Because even though we talked last time that filling up the journal during the monthly spreads, it takes a few minutes. Trying to journal about feelings, emotions, and to organize your life, your to-do list, and things
Hmm.
is time-consuming. So it
Hmm.
depends on the people's interest. It depends on people's needs. There's people that doesn't like write at all, not even in digital mediums. So I wanted to clarify that in advance because sometimes we start journaling and we realize it's not for us, and we might think there's something
Hmm.
wrong with us, but it's not. It's just a skill acquired as anything else. I don't know
Hmm.
if that was helpful or was too raw to talk
Hmm.
about.
Yeah. So basically, it is it you everybody can try it, but the results might differ depending upon your individual nature. Some people do enjoy writing stuff down. Some people don't.
Yes,
Some
yes. I
people
mean,
like sharing emotions or getting all of that out. Some people are more comfortable keeping everything inside. So
or
it
no, they
depending
have
upon
other
that.
ways to. They
Hmm.
have other ways to release their emotions. I mean,
Hmm.
journaling is just a tool; it's not the ultimate goal.
Hmm.
So when with all the propaganda and all the how journaling blew up in social media, people feel very compelled to start journaling. Like, oh, it's in trend. I might try
Hmm.
it. I should. And at the end of the day, is just a skill. It's just an action, and you can do other things to release your stress or release your creativity.
Hmm.
You don't need to actually start journaling to be a part of your life. I truly
Hmm.
believe it's very beneficial. It helped me a lot with my autoimmune condition. It helps a lot with to find other scenarios and other perspective on daily life
Hmm.
problems and occurrences. It helps you to check on your patterns, your behaviors. But as I said, there are other ways and there are other interests.
True.
Should I go back to
That's
the
true.
presentation? Okay.
Sure.
So as I said before, journaling is basically the act to record analogically or digitally events, thoughts, or emotions. We
Do you
emphasize
want to
a
show
lot.
that on the screen?
Huh?
Do you want to show the presentation on the screen?
Oh, didn't I share it? Hold on. Let me
Yeah,
go
you didn't.
back. Okay. Share screen. Okay.
Yeah,
Can
I'm
you see it
getting it.
now?
Let me. Yep.
Okay.
Now it's on
I
the
don't know
screen.
what's
Okay.
happening today with my computer. Okay.
Hmm.
So we're talking about this. As we emphasized last time, we don't need any structure, like
Hmm.
any recipe or guidelines or a medium in terms of special notebooks, stationery, the ultimate laptop or the ultimate tablet to start journaling.
Hmm.
Journaling is very subjective, uh, so it means that it's adaptable and it can change over time. The person I'm today, it's probably not the person I will be in 1 year or in 5 years. And
Hmm.
as is an acquired skill, also we will find in the future our aesthetics, what is better for us. We might start journaling consistently and then start creating really artful spreads and add a lot of stationery and things and then realize that it was not working for us and we will go through a more efficient era in our lives, so we will go back to minimal and this type of thing. So it's process that it will adapt with us as long as we are
Hmm.
intentional to do consistently.
Hmm.
um, the best way to journal is to do intentionally, mindfully, and with the purpose of self discovery. When we compare ourselves to other journalers and when we do it just for the sake of doing something, we actually cannot start seeing the patterns, the behaviors, um, our changes because we are going to do it very mechanically.
Hmm.
Um, we talked about this last time and was to have some tool or a spread or an exercise in our journal that keeps pulling us to start journaling. We talk
Hmm.
about the importance of trackers. If there's a behavior that we like to track, it's easier for us to be more consistent because we would like to see the improvement of that behavior. So we will start checking our journal every day or every week. the period of time we decide. Now we're going to talk about the benefits of journaling. And journaling goes hand by hand with a therapy because of the concept of catharsis. That is basically an emotional release. And journaling, what we do is we pour the emotions into the paper. We are going to talk, I'm going to say paper all the time, but there's a lot of journalers that use digital mediums or apps in their phones or their calendar in their phones. So at the end of the day, the outcome is the same. So this emotional release will help us to address our internal conflicts. We will realize that something is going to happen or something is happening within ourselves that doesn't let us to flow normally. And when we use the journal to write down or to represent in terms of art, when we draw and paint or write or doodle about what's going on through our minds, we can subconsciously face that obstacle. We can release the stress or the trauma that is causing us or prevent us from not flowing, from not having our normal, peaceful life. Daily journaling helps us. This is the easiest benefit that you see, and is the help us to organize and prioritize our tasks. So if every day I check the tasks that I have for the day, and then I decide which ones to tackle first, which ones to tackle second, and then go and check what things I did, what are yet to do, and what I will migrate for other days, it will lift a big burden out of our shoulders. We will have a clear picture of our day-to-day life. It also helps us to track emotions, symptoms, triggers, behaviors, and consequently to learn how to control, embrace, or change them. So when we track, for example, symptoms, I've been having headaches and I went to the doctor and everything seems all right, but then I know something is causing it, and I start tracking and start marking every day when I have the headaches, and then I will check during that month in what times I get the headaches or after which foods, or these type of patterns will help us to know what to do next. Either we can control the behaviors, triggers, everything, either we can embrace them, like this is something that is part of myself and I'm now cannot change it, or I'm not able to do so. So what it's next to do? What is my contingency for these emotions or these symptoms or these behaviors I'm having? Or we can have the power to change it with the journal tools. This is a benefit.
Marcel?
Yes.
Yeah. Can I, get just a minute to sort of translate it in Urdu a little bit? These 3 points that we discussed so far.
Yes.
All right. ओके सो मार्सेल बात कर रही हैं जर्नलिंग के बेनिफिट्स पे कि हमें जर्नलिंग से किस तरह के फ़ायदे हो सकते हैं। पहला सबसे बात है आपकी एक इमोशनल रिलीज आपको मिलता है या कैथारसिस जिसको कहते हैं जर्नलिंग करने से। जब आप अपने इमोशंस किसी डायरी में या कागज़ पे या आपका डिजिटली अगर आप जर्नल रख रहे हैं तो उसके अंदर लिखने से आपको जो भी प्रॉब्लम है जो आपको जो फेस कर रहे हैं आप एक्चुअली फर्स्टली उसको आइडेंटिफाई कर लेते हैं, ठीक है, एंड देन दैट्स अ स्टेप टुवर्ड्स आइदर चेंजिंग इट, या आप उसको चेंज करने का कर सकते हैं या आप उसको एम्ब्रेस कर सकते हैं कि ये मसला मेरे साथ है, मुझे या तो इसको साथ इसी तरह रहना है या मुझे इसके साथ डील करना सीखना है। जो भी चीज़ होगी जब आप अपने सामने अपना प्रॉब्लम बयान करेंगे तो वो आपके लिए अल्टीमेटली उस चीज़ को डील करने के लिए आपको हेल्प करेगी। फिर उन्होंने कहा है कि डेली जर्नलिंग करने से हम अपने काम जो सारे दिन के काम होते हैं या जिस तरह से जो चीज़ें हमें बिजी रखती हैं हम उनको प्रायोरिटाइज कर सकते हैं कि हमने किस तरह से करने हैं काम, और हम आई गेस मुझे सबसे बड़ा बेनिफिट ये लगेगा कि भूलूंगी नहीं ये चीज़ मैं, तो अगर कोई लिखी हुई चीज मेरे सामने, जैसे मैं एक लिस्ट को फॉलो कर रही हूँ, तो ओके, ऑलराइट मार्सेल, गो अहेड.
Okay. With journaling, we can develop a stronger connection with our inner selves. Sometimes we live in overdrive, so we are always very mechanic, and I don't know if it's happened to you guys, but there's sometimes that someone tell us something about ourselves that we don't see it, and after pondering about it, we realize, yes, I'm like that, or yeah, I can do that, and is because we don't know each other. I mean, we don't know ourselves. We don't know, or we don't have a clear um, conversation with ourselves. And
We see
sometimes,
ourselves differently than how
yes,
people see us. So yeah.
yes, and we are raised not to have those conversations with ourselves. We are prevented since childhood to connect with our emotions and our feelings. We need to show to the world that we are very strong, that we don't feel anything, and this cause to have this muscle, this emotion connection muscle, are really weak. So when we start journaling, we can start understanding where these emotions or negative thoughts or feelings are coming from. And we can change the narrative that is affecting us. Like, for example, um, something that is not very, that's something very simple. Like, for example, I'm always late. Yeah, people know me that because I'm always late, I always arrive late, it's just me. And then after I start journaling and tracking, we realize that there are things that doesn't let us flow, that doesn't let us to become a better person or more organized or things like that. And we love to label ourselves. Instead of we tackle the problems or the conflicts, the internal conflict that we have, we rather label ourselves and say, no, this is not what I am, this is I can't, and or I won't. And with through journaling, we can develop another perspective, and we can start getting a stronger connection with this inner being. Even if the journaling is not consistent, like for example, once in a full blue moon, I feel tired or stressed, or I cannot cope with an emotion, I start writing out of the blue. It will help us to manage anxiety, to reduce stress, and to cope with depression, just for the simple fact that we are seeing the problem in a wider perspective. We are pouring our emotions or the event that happened in a more structured way, so it's easier for us to see.
Okay. Can you go
Oh,
back
yes, sure.
for 2 minutes? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. अच्छा, एक बहुत मजे का पॉइंट मार्सेल ने अभी ये बताया कि इसके जरिए हम अपने आप से एक स्ट्रॉन्गर कनेक्शन बना सकते हैं, और ये कह रही हैं कि हमें बचपन से ऐसे ही ट्यून किया गया होता है कि हम अपने आप से कनेक्ट करना कोई प्रायोरिटी, तो दूर की बात, हम उसको कोई इम्पोर्टेंस नहीं देते उस चीज को. तो जर्नलिंग के थ्रू आप ये आप जो खुद हैं, जो लोग यही बात हम कर रहे थे कि लोगों का अक्सर हमारे बारे में परसेप्शन फर्क होता है दैन जो हमारा अपने बारे में होता है. तो अक्सर औकात हम खुद ठीक होते हैं अपने बारे में, लेकिन अक्सर औकात कोई दूसरा बंदा क्योंकि डिफरेंट पर्सपेक्टिव से देख रहा होता है तो वो भी ठीक हो सकता है. व्हेन यू आर पेनिंग एवरीथिंग डाउन, जब आप सब कुछ लिख रहे हैं, तो आपको एक पर्सपेक्टिव मिलेगा, और हो सकता है कि वो पर्सपेक्टिव ज्यादा बेहतर हो, या वो पर्सपेक्टिव ऐसा हो जिसके ऊपर आप कुछ काम कर सकते हैं, बस आप अभी तक अवेयर नहीं थे अपने उस चीज से रिलेटेड. तो एक ये चीज है. और लास्ट पॉइंट इस स्लाइड का ये था कि इवन अगर आप कंसिस्टेंटली नहीं कर रहे, अगर आप रोज के हिसाब से जर्नलिंग के साथ टाइम नहीं स्पेंड कर रहे, तो भी आपको इंटरमिटेंटली जैसे अगर आप कर रहे हैं, इवन देन आपको वो एंजाइटी और स्ट्रेस को डील करने में तब भी उसके कारआमद इफेक्ट्स होंगे. All right, Marcel, let's proceed.
Okay, to clarify a little bit, the last part about journaling is not consistent. I want you
Hmm.
guys to try to remember there's a time in our life, especially when we are teenagers, that we had a
Hmm.
fight or we had a conflict or we had, I don't know, something that made us emotional. And we came home and we start writing, I'm probably ripping the pages and have a complete full show of our emotions.
Hmm.
And this was I was trying to explain in the last sentence. Even if it's not
Hmm.
consistent, it helps us to cope with our emotions.
Hmm.
Okay, so when we are journaling it about our feelings, it creates awareness. So it makes us to see it shows us easier what
Hmm.
is happening, and this way we can understand our emotions and even see situations from another perspective.
Hmm.
Since what we are doing is recording, it means we can go back to what we wrote or what we draw or whatever we did. Um, we can also have a timeline of what we did, how it affected us, how it's affecting us now. Did we overcome that event that happened? All these
Hmm.
things
Hmm.
also helps with brainstorming and finding solutions. So when we are facing a problem, if we try to cut it in small pieces and try to see it in a different light, it will help us better than to have all the noise in our brains.
Hmm.
It can strengthen our immune system response because when
Hmm.
we lift those burdens out of their shoulders, it reduces the impact of the stressors that affect our physical health. So, just the simple act of starting loading the paper with the things that we are unloading from our system, it will help us physically. As many know, stress has a physical impact, the same as
Hmm.
other
True.
illness.
Hmm.
So, so helping us to cope with that, it will affect directly our physical health.
Hmm.
It
This
also
is an
improves,
interesting point. Hmm.
yeah, it also improves our learning skills and cognitive functioning. So when we are writing, and I mean, can you imagine if we can remember everything that happened in our lives? There's sometimes
Hmm.
that you go back through an old album and we remember
Hmm.
situations that we thought we forgot. Like we see a picture of ourselves when we were younger, and oh, I remember we went to the pool, or I remember we went for a picnic. This type of things that we thought we were lost. So when we
Hmm.
are constantly journaling, it gives us a picture in our brains that we can remember over time and help us to connect with those thoughts or those emotions or those events that we thought we forgot.
Hmm.
Um, Many studies suggest that journaling intentionally grants physical benefits for those chronically ill. There are many studies, especially with people that is coping with autoimmune conditions as arthritis and any other conditions that cause pain, that it
Hmm.
helps in this matter. It helps us keep our minds occupied and it helps us
Hmm.
strengthen our immune systems.
Hmm.
Um, Processing trauma through creative writing or intentional writing will give us a vision to understand the trauma and most of the times to overcome it. Come it.
Hmm.
This is very important for people that attend therapy or is going through therapy. Journaling is less, it makes you less
Hmm.
vulnerable because you're journaling with yourself. Nobody is there to judge, nobody is there to guide our mental process. So it's just an action with ourselves, and it helps us to relieve and recall the trauma or the event and give us another perspective.
Should just give me
Using
2 minutes.
okay.
Do you want to cover the last point before? I was
Yes.
waiting for you.
No, it's
Okay, yeah.
basically an intro for the things that are to come, but basically it's more effective using journaling tools that are already there. We can journal in our own terms. We can start just writing, but in order to see the benefits in a more clear light, more organized way, it's better to know these tools that can help us to cope with these emotions faster or in a more efficient way.
ओके मार्सेल हमें बता रही हैं कि अवेयरनेस क्रिएट करती है जर्नलिंग हमारे लिए, जो कि पहला स्टेप है उस चीज़ को डील करने के लिए, और हमें दूसरा पर्सपेक्टिव मिलता है किसी भी चीज़ के ऊपर, दूसरा एंगल वी आर एबल टू सी इट. दूसरी चीज़ है ये हमें ब्रेन स्टॉर्मिंग करने में हेल्प करता है ताकि हम सॉल्यूशंस तक पहुंच सकें, थोड़ा जल्दी, थोड़ा तेज, थोड़ा ज़्यादा तेज. तीसरा पॉइंट इस स्लाइड पर है जो मुझे बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग लगता है कि इससे हमारा इम्यून सिस्टम रिस्पॉन्स बेहतर हो सकता है. और नीचे एक और पॉइंट में उन्होंने लिखा हुआ है कि स्टडीज ऐसी हुई हैं जो ये शो करते हैं कि अगर आप जर्नलिंग इंटेंशनली कर रहे हैं, पिछली दफ़ा भी हमने ये बात की थी कि जर्नलिंग हैज़ टू बी इंटेंशनल. अगर आप इंटेंशनली कर रहे हैं तो यू विल इवन सी फिजिकल बेनिफिट्स आउट ऑफ इट. आप उसकी वजह से जो स्ट्रेसर्स आपकी लाइफ में हैं, जो आपको ट्रिगर करते हैं आपका किसी भी किस्म का इमोशनल रिस्पॉन्स, उन स्ट्रेसर्स के बारे में लिखने से, उनके बारे में उस पूरे इवेंट के बारे में लिखने से आपको वो चीज़ थोड़ा सा फिजिकली भी इफेक्ट कम करेगी. जिस तरह स्ट्रेस का इफेक्ट होता है बॉडी के ऊपर, फिजिकल इफेक्ट्स होते हैं. स्ट्रेस हर तरह की बीमारी का एक पहला पॉइंट है. अगर आप स्ट्रेस में हैं और फिर और कुछ चीज़ें मिलें तो बस कोई किसी तरफ जा सकती है, गलत तरफ. तो स्ट्रेस का जब फिजिकल बेनिफिट्स हैं तो जर्नलिंग के भी इसी तरह स्ट्रेस मैनेजमेंट के लिए फिजिकल इफेक्ट्स देखे गए हैं. फिर उन्होंने कहा है कि इससे हमारी लर्निंग स्किल्स बेहतर होते हैं. जैसे अगर हम किसी इवेंट, कोई अच्छा या कोई बुरा, उसके बारे में अगर हम लिखते हैं तो जितनी दफ़ा भी हम वापस जाएंगे तो वी कैन सी अ वेरी क्लियर पिक्चर ऑफ व्हाट हैपेंड. और मुझे लगता है जैसे लिखी हुई चीज़ तस्वीर से ज़्यादा बेहतर होती है, क्योंकि तस्वीर में क्योंकि सब स्माइल कर रहे होते हैं तो उस वक्त ऐसे ही लगता है कि बहुत हैप्पी कोई टाइम था. बट अगर आप थोड़ा सा टाइम देकर उसको सोचें तो अक्सर वो चीज़ काफ़ी, उसके पीछे कुछ बहुत अजीब सा हुआ होता है या वाइस वर्सा कुछ भी. तो तस्वीर कैन बी रिसीविंग. आपके लिखे हुए वर्ड्स आपको रिसीव नहीं करेंगे. फिर उन्होंने कहा है कि ट्रॉमा, किसी भी ट्रॉमा को, अगर आप किसी ट्रॉमा से गुजरते हैं, उसके बारे में लिखने से आपको एक तो उस चीज़ को समझना आसान होगा. जब क्योंकि अक्सर किसी किस्म का एक्सीडेंट, किसी किस्म कोई भी ट्रॉमेटिक इवेंट जब होता है तो हमें उसको प्रोसेस करने में बहुत टाइम लगता है. अगर आप जर्नलिंग की मदद लेंगे तो आप उस चीज़ को थोड़ा तेज़ी से प्रोसेस कर सकते हैं, और जितना तेज़ी से आप प्रोसेस करेंगे उतना तेज़ी से आप उसको या मैनेज कर सकते हैं, या कोप कर सकते हैं, या उसके साथ डील कर सकते हैं, या अगर कुछ आपको उसके लिए करना है तो आप उन स्टेप्स की तरफ थोड़ा तेज़ी से चले जाएंगे जब आप वो सारे इमोशंस को सिफ्ट आउट कर लेंगे. और लास्टली इस पेज में ये लिखा है कि जर्नलिंग, वैसे फ्रीलांस जर्नलिंग जिसको हम डायरी लिखना कहते हैं, और उसी से ही कंफ्यूज भी होते हैं. जर्नलिंग मतलब आप सिंपल डायरी भी लिखें तो दैट्स जर्नलिंग. लेकिन अगर आप जर्नलिंग टूल्स यूज़ करेंगे, जिसके बारे में भी मार्सेल बात करेंगी, तो आप ये जो सारा प्रोसेस है इमोशनल अवेयरनेस का और प्रोसेसिंग का, ये सारा तेज़ी से स्टेप आप पार कर सकते हैं और आगे बेहतरी की तरफ जा सकते हैं. तो ये टूल्स अगर आप एटलीस्ट सुने इनके बारे में, और आपको अगर यूजफुल लगते हैं तो आप इनको अपने डेली लाइफ में एम्प्लॉय करना शुरू कर सकते हैं. ऑलराइट मार्सेल,
Okay.
लेट्स गो फॉरवर्ड.
Okay, well, in order for us to start journaling to help us with our emotions or to help us unwind, we see all the time, and I've been talking about this constantly. We see all the times the accounts in Instagram or Facebook or YouTube or any other platform, and we might think, oh, those beautiful journals or those pens and markers and washi tapes, and I want all. All this stationery can be very appealing, but when you want to
Yeah.
start, it's overwhelming, and it's overwhelming in two aspects. One, when we don't have and we want all, then we get those things and we don't know how to use them, or they become too many things to think about and too many things to tackle. Then we have stamps, stickers, everything, and we don't even know what to do with that. So to start, I always recommend just a notebook and one pen. It depends also of what you want to do in terms of journaling, because we see a lot the dot grid notebooks for journaling. But if I'm into creative writing or art, this might not work for me. Maybe I will not need a line grid, or maybe I will need watercolor paper or this type of thing. So we need to know. This is why I was telling you guys last time that journaling intentionally is very important. Like having at least some starter points of why do we need to journal and how are we going to do so. So you can use any. I have journals where I use the square grid ones. I have journals only lined notebooks. You don't need to have the best paper or the biggest amount of pages. Just need one notebook, and if it's a cheap one to start, it will be perfect. Why? Because as I said before, journaling, it might not be for everybody. It might not be for you now. It might not be what you were expecting. Maybe in the future you can try it again. Maybe you can explore another options. But to collect and hoard stationery just for the sake of beginning is not very efficient. Um, it's also very important to understand that it's a process, and it's a process that will get better over time. I showed you guys last time my first journal that was very simple and it was very efficient at the time, but then I developed my own aesthetics. And since I'm constantly changing, my aesthetics last year are not the same aesthetics that I have today. So what I like in terms of stationery last year are not the same this year. Actually, I've been doing monthly spreads, very elaborated, because I want to challenge my art. But then I decided this week to go back to my simple traveler journals to organize my day to day, because I was overlooking that. So this is why I wrote there that it's important to have in mind some goals journaling wise to evaluate if journaling is for you. Don't put yourself in a box. There's people that love to write. There's people that doesn't like it. There's people that can draw. There's people that don't draw but want to try it and have the drive. But to get there is different for everybody, and at the beginning, every beginning is almost a struggle. It's important to be patient, and it's important to be forgiving. Our first step is not the same the others midway. So if you want to compare yourself, probably it will give extra stress, extra anxiety to a process that should be making your life easier.
Okay. Give me 2 minutes, please.
Yes,
All
sure.
right. Okay. Meanwhile, you look at this question we got
Okay, we're going to.
on the screen. मार्सेल ने कहा है कि बहुत एक्सटेंसिव किस्म की स्टेशनरी के साथ आप शुरू ना करें, क्योंकि बहुत मजे मजे की चीजें स्टेशनरी शॉप्स पे आपको नजर आती हैं. मैं तो एक्चुअली पहले उनको देख के सोचती थी कि इनका करना क्या है ना, मतलब मैं किधर यूज करूं. सो देन आई गॉट टू नो अबाउट जर्नलिंग, सो मेक सेंस. लेकिन वो ऑब्वियसली these things, even if they are cheap, अगर आप बहुत सारी चीजें स्टेशनरी इकट्ठी करके रख लेंगे कि मैंने ये शुरू करना है, तो मे बी आप ओवरवेलम हो जाएं स्टार्ट करने के लिए, क्योंकि मार्सेल का पहले पॉइंट था कि दिस प्रोबेबली इज नॉट एवरीवन्स कप ऑफ टी। सो आप पहले ये असेस करें कि इज जर्नलिंग फॉर यू और नॉट। तो उसके लिए अगर आप इतना पैसे पहले स्पेंड कर लेंगे तो वो चीज़ आपके लिए वैसे ही वो थोड़ा ड्रेनिंग हो जाएगी कि ये तो इतने पैसे लग गए हैं और अब मैं नहीं कर रही तो मैं क्या करूँ। तो इम्पोर्टेंट ये है कि आप पहले किसी एक एक जर्नल, एक पेन या एक नोटबुक, नो मैटर हाउ चीप इट इज, हाउ एक्सपेंसिव इट इज, कोई जो आपके पास अवेलेबल है, यू स्टार्ट समवेयर। आप लिखना स्टार्ट करें, आप उसका देखें उसके ऊपर आपके ऊपर क्या इफेक्ट है। मार्सेल कह रही है लेकिन दिमाग में कोई गोल के साथ कोई कोई आपको जरूरी नहीं है कि आप अभी अपनी सारा कुछ डिसाइड करें कि मैंने किस तरह का जर्नल, लास्ट टाइम भी मार्सेल ने अपने जर्नल शो किए थे उनसे ज्यादा बेहतर पिक्चर जैसे मिलती है। तो आप जरूरी नहीं है कि पहले दिन से आपका जर्नल उसी तरह दिखे जिस तरह किसी और का जर्नल आपने देखा है, लेकिन आपको पता हो कि आपने इवेंचुअली यू वांट टू गो देयर। ठीक है, एस्थेटिक्स इज नॉट इम्पोर्टेंट एज राइटिंग। सो आपको पहले राइटिंग वाले पार्ट पे फोकस करें और उसके बाद फिर आप लास्ट पॉइंट है कि डोंट पुट योरसेल्फ इन अ बॉक्स, व्हिच मींस कि यू नो आप अपने लिए देखें कि आपके लिए क्या चीज है, किस चीज के अंदर आपको पीस फील होता है, कौन सा आपका स्ट्रॉन्ग सूट है, आपके कौन सी स्ट्रेंथ है। वहां पर आप उस चीज की तरफ जाएं। आप दूसरे लोगों से डिफरेंट हो सकते हैं, आपको दूसरे लोगों वाली बॉक्स के अंदर ही फिट इन होने की जरूरत नहीं है। ओके मार्सेल, आर यू गोना डील विद द क्वेश्चन राइट नाउ, दिस
Yes.
वन? या ओके।
Yeah. To be honest, my answer will be I don't know. I don't know because at the end of the day, journaling is just recording events, and if voice notes work for you, as I said, journaling is very subjective. But for me, it will be more difficult to work with that. Um, let's say I want to release my emotions talking and I can create my voice notes, but how am I going to go back to them? How am I going to track my progress? How am I going to learn for that?
Hmm.
So you might release the emotions that were piling up at the moment, like you have a problem, you were angry, you just wanted to vent and you did that. But then in terms of organization and to have it as a keepsake, it's going to be more difficult to deal with. um, it might be an option to have more organized things and to have I don't know, maybe a contingency to work with the voice notes, but in terms of fulfilling the intention, I'm not sure.
Hmm.
I don't know if that answered the question.
She did leave another comment. She's saying that that's true. Tracking won't be that easy. So looking for a pattern might not
Yes,
work. Yeah. Yeah.
yes. It's my main concern. Also, a lot of people that do creative writing, they start writing, and then they come back in the future, in the future,
Hmm.
and it's a mess of thoughts and words just laying there. Most of the time we don't even understand what we wrote, so it's important to have a contingency for those times when the paper was just our confident, and we can
Hmm.
after that clear up some important topics there, like the most important phrases that we put in the paper, our most important thoughts or things that we'll like to deal, or what is the outcome or the conclusion of that rant that we did, and then
Hmm.
write it in a more clear way and proper. It's like when we were at school and the teacher was talking and we start writing, we come back home in the afternoon and we will start like
Hmm.
transferring those that lesson into a more
Hmm.
organized way. It will work the same with the journal. Any
Hmm.
other question?
No, so far none.
Okay.
Hmm.
I'm going back to the presentation. Okay, now we're going to talk before the other tools about expressive and creative writing. This is the more basic way of journaling, and it's very good to release the emotions at the time, but it's more difficult to track and more difficult to go back to.
Hmm.
It requires a lot of skills and a lot of training to start doing mind maps when we are expressive or creative writing. I don't know if you've seen, there's people that can start writing in a way that is more appealing to the eye and more
Hmm.
organized than a full
Hmm.
paragraph or a full page of words.
True.
So it help a lot because it's the basic, just you, a pen, and writing whatever word comes to your mind. But it will require specific skills to transfer that into a way to have a proper conclusion to those emotions or a proper treatment.
Hmm.
Um, there is no magical formula or a fixed structure to write. You can
Hmm.
write about anything, but as I said before, the aftermath can be very confusing. Many times we
Hmm.
write something that we saw, even our shopping list, and there's words that we don't even understand. That what did I write here? What was I was trying
Hmm.
to say? It became
Hmm.
easier with the phones and with the computers because now we tend
Hmm.
to write everything down digitally, so the words are clear. But when we are writing and we have like a brainstorm,
Hmm.
a lot of emotions and thoughts are piling up in our brains, then it's
Hmm.
gonna be more difficult to write in an organized way. So it's a skill that will be developed over time. Learning to do the
Hmm.
mind map or to map out our thoughts will make the revision more efficient. What I said, when we go back to those things, when we want to check our progress, when we want to address the things, because also checking the progress is not something that is instant. I might be
Hmm.
coping with an emotion, I can talk about it, I can express my feelings about it, but from there, to address the problem itself, it will take some time and it will take some um,
Hmm.
different I don't know how to say it. Like we will try many ways to cope with that emotion or to get the outcome we were looking for. So when
Hmm.
we have a clear view of our emotions, it's easier to follow and cope with that in the aftermath. Creative writing not only help us with cope with trauma and relieve stress and cope with anxiety, but also expands our creativity. There's a lot of people that start journaling because of their sessions with the psychologist, and they became amazing writers and authors.
Hmm. Hmm.
So it helps a lot. Also, creative writing help our kids, even ourselves, to see the things from another perspective that is not that dark and raw.
Hmm.
For example, while processing trauma that is overwhelming us, and it's
Hmm.
difficult for us to recall the trauma or the event that is causing us pain, maybe
Hmm.
through creative writing or writing about something different, like a representation of our thoughts, will be
Hmm.
more helpful than going deep into the trauma. Um, an example will be when we had a problem and we don't know how to address it, then we call a friend and say, "Oh, you know what?
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
have a friend and she's going through this. What do you think?" I think we all had these conversations talking about these imaginary friends that is in reality.
Hmm. Hmm.
So this is also how we can see creative writing.
Hmm.
You
All
can
right.
proceed.
That's interesting. ओके सो मार्सेल कह रही हैं कि क्रिएटिव राइटिंग के बारे में बात करेंगे उसके उसके क्या फायदे हो सकते हैं जो आप एक लंबे टेक्स्ट, क्रिएटिव राइटिंग यही होती है कि आप लंबा टेक्स्ट जैसे जनरली लिखें, कोई स्टोरी की तरह, कोई आपने इवेंट डिस्क्राइब करना है, और इस चीज से आपके जो है, आप जो एक इमोशनल बर्डन होता है वो आप फील करेंगे जैसे वो लिफ्ट हो रहा है, और चीज़ों को समझने में, चीज़ों को प्रोसेस करने में आपको आसानी होगी। मार्सेल कह रही हैं कि कोई मैजिकल फॉर्मूला नहीं है, कोई एक स्ट्रक्चर ज़रूरी नहीं है जो आपको फॉलो करना है क्रिएटिव राइटिंग के लिए, लेकिन कुछ इस तरह का हो कि अगर आप किसी वक़्त में जल्दी में, या किसी वक़्त में आप कोई इमोशनल टर्मोइल इस तरह के में हैं कि तेज़ी से लिख रहे हैं, या कुछ एक तो राइटिंग का ऑब्वियसली मेरे लिए तो ये इशू है, अगर मैं तेज़ लिखूँ तो मेरी राइटिंग बहुत ऐसी हो जाती है जो मैं भी नहीं पढ़ सकती बाद में। तो इस तरह की अगर चीज़ है, तो जिस तरह हम कॉलेज में, स्कूल में अपने नोट्स, हर टीचर के लिखे हुए नोट, टीचर से नोट किए हुए नोट्स हमारे ऑब्वियसली वो एक कंसाइज तरीके से लिखे होते हैं, उनको घर आके जैसे हम फिर प्रॉपर सेंटेंसेस और उस तरह से, तो आप इस तरह से कर सकते हैं, क्योंकि अदरवाइज वो आपको चीज़ बाद में उस वक़्त तो आपको याद है कि आपको क्या वजह थी जिस वजह से आप, बाद में आपके लिए वो चीज़ थोड़ा-सा गैप्स बन जाएँगे कि अच्छा पता नहीं ये क्या लिखा हुआ है, इसका पता नहीं क्या मतलब था, पता नहीं मैं क्या कहना चाह रही थी। तो वो चीज़ आपको उतना हेल्प नहीं करेगी। तो यही नेक्स्ट पॉइंट यही है, अपने थॉट्स अगर आप मैप आउट करते हैं तो आपके लिए चीज़ों को दोबारा से देखना वो आपके लिए आसान कर देगा, आपको ज़्यादा क्लियर पिक्चर नज़र आएगी और आपको पता होगा कि आपको आगे किस तरफ जाना है। लास्टली, क्रिएटिव राइटिंग आपकी क्रिएटिविटी और इमेजिनेशन को एक्सपैंड करती है, ठीक है, और आपकी मेमोरी को बूस्ट करती है, आप की मेमोरी डेफिनेटली, और ये विद एज, आई हैव दिस प्रॉब्लम myself.
Yes.
I I'm not that aged, but I've started forgetting, small things very easily. So I think that this memory boosting thing is an important point for me.
Yes,
Yeah.
and to be honest, it's just an exercise. When we, for
Hmm.
example, we start simple, we start with our to do. So, what
Hmm.
we do, we create a behavior when every morning we go back to our journal and check what do we have to do. It will be a time that it will be mechanically and we will remember easier because what we have in the paper, it will become a picture in our brain. We will even see the piece of paper with the words written there.
Hmm.
Sometimes we forget our shopping list, but we remember most of the things because we wrote it and we saw the list and we went through the list a couple of times. So yeah, it's one of the benefits of journaling. It
Hmm.
boost our memories.
Hmm.
Another thing that it will tie this slide of expressive and creative writing with the next slide, it's in terms of imagination and creativity. Putting
Hmm.
ourselves in imaginary scenarios help us start journaling. Like for
Hmm.
example,
This
let's
is an
say,
important tool. This is an
sorry,
important tool.
yeah,
This is an important method that you're talking about, because okay, go ahead, because
yeah,
this is my dilemma. How do you start it? Like how do you get into it? Because writing is
yeah.
definitely not everyone's cup of tea. So this is a good idea. Putting yourself in an imaginary situation to start the
Yes.
flow. All right,
And
that's interesting.
also even the people, the authors and the writers, the professional ones, even they struggle with inspiration and struggle with the
Hmm.
fear of the blank page. So
True.
putting ourselves into imaginary situations just for the simple things, like for example, oh, I want to start a business, I don't know how. Then I start thinking, if I have all the tools available, all the money, all the time, how do I see myself in 1 year? Or what would I do? What would be the goal? If I had all the time in the world, what would I like to do? If I didn't have any responsibilities, I would do, or when I was growing up, what did I wanted to do with my life? This type of imaginary situations can help us and guide us through these. Also, when we go back to these, and this is deal specifically with brain dumps. This is why this spread is called brain dump, because sometimes we are walking in the streets and we see something and we think of a solution.
Hmm.
Write that. Oh, will be
Okay.
amazing if someone create this business, or if someone do that. Like I don't know. The first person that did the instant hijabs was
Hmm.
someone probably thinking, "Oh my God, I'm so tired of the pins, so I'm tired
True.
of the brooch. And what am I going to do?" And then they decide that we can do the same uh, when we go back to those notes or those thoughts that we put in paper, and we start from there. So even
Hmm.
the craziest thought comes from somewhere in within.
Hmm.
Whatever we do
True.
comes from ourselves. So sometimes we said, "Oh, those cakes are beautiful. I wish I could learn this or do this." And then in the future, we are forced, or we are in a situation that it could be an option for us to start doing that. How many of us lost our jobs or struggled with our income, and then we realized we were very good doing something in our houses, or any skill, or we start working again, and we push ourselves to learn something or to do something that we never thought we might do but cross our minds sometime.
Hmm.
So these scenarios would help us to grow also.
Hmm.
Now, this is what I was talking about, the prompts.
Okay.
Prompt, the
Hmm.
definition of prompt is just an event that causes an action, something
Hmm.
that cause or that push to an action. And the
Hmm.
equivalent in writing will be these thoughts or questions or words that incite us or force us to develop an idea.
Hmm.
And it's those are very helpful when you don't know how to start writing or how to start
Hmm.
a journal. So I can ask
Hmm.
myself, why do I want to start a journal? Just because I saw it on Instagram, or is because I want to benefit from it, or I just want to have a fun way to cope with my stress,
Hmm.
or I don't know. There are many, many, many reasons. But when we want to live our life intentionally, it's important to have these conversations with ourselves when everything that we do have a purpose.
Hmm.
It's not only for journaling, but for life in general. Living a
Hmm.
purposefully life, it's more fulfilling. So here
Hmm.
I listed some examples. It could be anything, but the one I listed some that can help us writing or starting journaling. Like for
Hmm.
example, what things brings me joy. So if I realize that I love travel, but I'm not, we cannot do it right now, I can start
Hmm.
doing spreads about traveling. Which destinations would I
Hmm.
want to go? What things would I
Hmm.
like to see? Which
Hmm.
places in those destinations are of my interest? And then I
Hmm.
start creating and writing and doing things just for the sake of relieve my stress or my anxiety, or just pass the time. And then it will help with the journaling muscle.
Hmm.
Um, the easiest one: how am I feeling today?
Hmm.
Why am I feeling like this? What is my greatest fear? Um,
And you see
let's
that on Facebook as well. What are you thinking? Something like that. It's written
Yes,
on.
true.
Yeah. So
That's true.
we're not able to write everything there, even though we want to. So use that
Yes,
for your own diary, for your journal. All right.
and it's a good exercise also to question ourselves. For example,
Hmm.
going back to the business, I want to do a business. Why do I want to do it? Is it because
Hmm.
I need to? Is it because I want to? Is it because there's something I need to prove? Is it because I think it will be beneficial? And then we start elaborating over these topics and help us to have
Hmm.
our thoughts in order to see more
Hmm.
clear.
Hmm.
Now we are going to go through the proper tools. So the first one we saw at this last time is the trackers. I think it's
Hmm.
one of the easiest tools, less time consuming, and is the more efficient way to follow up what we want to address, whatever we
Hmm.
want to do. Here, I just put a tracker,
Hmm.
normal tracker for the month of June. So there's
Hmm.
30 slots that represent the days. And then
Hmm.
I can color, mark, put a dot, put a line every day if we accomplish um, what we wanted to that day. So
Hmm.
I drink uh, for liters of water, then I will mark my day. And when
Hmm.
I want to go back to see if I comply with the purpose or I finish what my goal was, then I can see it clearly.
Hmm.
So in terms of emotions, we can do the same with our moods, with our symptoms, with our
Hmm.
triggers, with our emotions, everything that we can we are going through at that moment. I don't know if you
Hmm.
want to translate until there.
Um. All right. Uh.
Should I go back
पीछे
to the other slide?
just one slide. All right. पहले मार्सेल ने एक बात की है ब्रेन डंप के नाम से एक स्प्रेड इसका नाम होता है ब्रेन डंप जिसमें आप मतलब चलते फिरते काफी सारी चीजें आती हैं हमारे दिमाग में रैंडम ख्याल जो अक्सर हमारी डेली लाइफ से ताल्लुक नहीं है जैसे कि किसी मसले का कोई हल हम अच्छा अगर ऐसा कोई कर दे तो ये चीजें आसान हो जाएं या इस ये मसले के ऊपर कुछ किसी को सोचना चाहिए इस तरह की रैंडम थॉट के लिए आप एक जगह है अपने जर्नल में रखें और उसके अंदर आप लिख सकते हैं और यू कैन गो बैक टू इट टाइम एंड अगेन और मे बी यू गेट सम गुड आइडियाज फॉर योरसेल्फ सम टाइम कभी होता है जैसे हम सोचते हैं कि अगर मेरे पास टाइम हो तो मैं ये वाली चीज को करना चाहती हूँ या मैं इस चीज में इन्वेस्ट करना चाहती हूँ टाइम और एनर्जी लेकिन भूल जाता है फिर इंसान तो वापस जाकर देखने से आपको उसमें हेल्प मिलेगी फिर प्रॉम्प्ट्स मार्सेल ने शेयर किए हैं काफी सारे इंटरेस्टिंग जो जिनसे आपको लिखना स्टार्ट करने में हेल्प होगी बड़े मजे मजे की कैन यू गो बैक वन मोर स्लाइड
Sure.
ये प्रॉम्प्ट्स आप अपने पास लिख कर रख सकते हैं देर ऑल वंडरफुल all of them can give you great ideas to talk to yourself about और आप इसमें से कोई भी चीज चूज कर सकते हैं किसी दिन आपके पास कुछ लिखने के लिए नहीं है तो आप उसमें से कुछ सेलेक्ट कर सकते हैं या आप जनरली फर्स्ट टाइमर जर्नलर अगर हैं तो आप इनको यूज करके एक बार अपनी राइटिंग का फ्लो जब आपका आ जाता है तो आप इंसान बड़ी जल्दी अपनी प्रॉब्लम्स तक ही लाता है हर कोई भी टॉपिक शुरू करने के बाद जो है वो Marcel, I'm saying that once you start writing, like if you use any of these prompts to start writing, I think, or maybe that's just me, or maybe that's everybody. I can start talking on any topic, and I can bring it down to my very personal problems like
Yeah.
you know because I'm seeing the world through that light so I eventually I will actually bring anything and everything down to my own problems so I guess wherever you start writing using any of these prompts if you're you have started writing you will eventually come down to what's bothering you or what appeals to you or your ambitions or anything
Yeah.
that's like you said an better emotional connection with us so I guess that was what I was saying in Urdu as well all right so next
Yes,
was
basically with
yeah
the prompts, there's many tools online. Even if
hmm,
you write a prompt for a journal, it will come up
hmm,
a list like this. And there are
hmm,
also, I showed you last time the guided journals. There are journals
hmm.
that already have these questions. Like for
Questions
example,
written
one very famous is the 5 minute journal. And
Mm.
it says in the 5 minute journals, it says what would make today great, or say
Yeah.
3 good things that happened today, or why didn't I accomplish today? What are
Mm.
3 things I'm grateful for? These type of things are already in guided journals that can help us
Mm.
also with the exercise. We don't need to start from
Mm.
scratch. Um,
Mm.
would it be better well, it depends of the case. For me, it was better to start clean, doing my own thing, and trying to do it uh,
Mm.
on my own terms. But for others, will be more helpful to have a guided journal, or at least
Mm.
one point. Like we will talk in few minutes about the gratitude logs. Just with
Sure.
this
Mm.
question, I'm grateful today because it's
Mm.
good enough for us to start talking
Mm.
with ourselves.
Mm. Exactly, and it's such a positive way to, push yourself towards. I guess
Yes.
we all need that. There's thousand things where we can be grateful for, but we overlook them. So maybe writing about them
We'll,
will
we
make you
will
more
talk about
conscious.
we will talk about that later because also it's overwhelming.
Sure.
We also push
Yeah.
ourselves differently when we talk about gratitude, but we will talk about this later.
Hmm.
Okay, so we were talking about the mood trackers.
Hmm.
So for women, having a mood tracker, it's helpful even in normal scenarios, as uh, when we are getting our periods.
Hmm.
It's science, it's biology. We get moody,
Hmm.
we would get angry, and most of the time we don't see the pattern. And it's funny because we live with our periods for so many years, but we don't know
Hmm.
how to address it. And
True.
society expects us to act like nothing is happening when something has happened to ourselves that changes for a few days.
Hmm.
So when someone, even if you don't struggle with your periods, even if you don't have mood swings, even if you don't have cramps or anything, it will be a good tool to find some patterns that are given by biology.
Hmm.
So there's a lot of seasonal depression also. So when we do, for example, a tracker that is yearly, we can see that some months we are more prone to be sad than others.
Hmm.
And during our month, there are days that we're prone to be sad without a reason. Because if we are sad because something happened to us, well, that's normal. It
Hmm.
means that you're alive. But when something is happening, and not only we're coping with an emotion, but also we're struggling and we don't know how to get through it, or it's too overwhelming, it's a good tool to maneuver in the future. I said last time that my autoimmune condition comes with sleep problems, and
Hmm.
having a sleep log, knowing that the time is coming when I will not be as functional as I should, or where, for example, I knew
Hmm.
I had this master class today. And if I weren't sleeping well the days before, I will I will know that something was coming, that I will not be able to function as normal as I had to, and I will force
Hmm.
myself to sleep. I will try to, I don't know, uh, magnesium oil, closing everything, making dark environments, turning off everything, these type of things, because I already know, I'm aware of my shortcomings, and I know how to address it and how to maneuver through those shortcomings. Same with the mood trackers. If we
Hmm.
know that something is bothering us and we went to the doctor and we couldn't find a solution and we were perfectly fine, but it's something that we don't understand what is happening. As I said, it's
Hmm.
important to make a distinction between the emotions that are overwhelming us that has no reason, because if we're going through a I don't know, a breakup or a financial struggle, it's normal for us to be overwhelmed. It's expected. It's the way your body reacts naturally. But we're
Hmm.
having everything in order in I don't know, in white terms, and
Hmm.
then we realize that something that's there's some days that we cannot even flow, that we don't even want to leave the room, or we cannot perform as we normally do. Then we can
Hmm.
go back and check what's happening, and it can help to determine the steps to follow, either if we need to go to a doctor, either if we
Hmm.
need to make some changes in our life. And
Hmm.
having a tracker is a really good way to determine um, if these the treatment or the change that we want to see or the behavior of the pattern is also working.
Hmm.
So these, I put two examples and I will show you later others. It's
Hmm.
basically the 30 days of June, and I color coded the motions, and down it's another example. It's just a doodle of a heart, and it has the 30 parts in there, and we will color, and we can decide which emotions are the ones that bother us the most or the ones that we want to track,
Hmm.
sorry. So we
Hmm.
can track happiness or anxiety, or if we are angry, or we just don't want to do anything, or even we can track if we are productive enough. Whatever
Hmm.
we want to check, we can code something for that. We don't even need colors. We can use patterns. I will show you guys later.
Hmm.
Um, and it's a good way to determine what's going on. Also, I
Hmm.
said last time, all the trackers help us when we go to the doctor or when we go to a specialist.
Hmm.
Even for the people that is in school or wants to, they don't know what to do with their careers, having a tracker of productivity or motivation will help also to check the progress. Sometimes that we
Hmm.
don't want to do anything, we don't know why, and we
Hmm.
cannot see it because time is relative. So sometimes we during a week get angry 2 times, and we can say, or the perception of others will be you're angry all the time, but actually in a month was only twice.
Hmm.
So having a proper tracker, it makes us see better what we want to address. So I think you can now
Hmm.
translate that part because it's kind
Um,
of
okay. ओके सो यहाँ पे मार्सेल ने मूड ट्रैकर्स डिफरेंट ट्रैकर्स की पहले बात करी है ट्रैकर किसी भी चीज़ के लिए आप यूज़ कर सकते हैं अपने कोई एलमेंट के सिम्टम्स नोट करने के लिए आपका जनरल मूड कैसा है उस दिन पे या किसी खास इवेंट से रिलेटेड कि जितनी दफ़ा ये चीज़ होती है तो मुझे मैं कैसा फील करती हूँ तो कलर कोड कर सकते हैं ट्रैकर्स को या फिर मार्सेल ने कहा है कि पैटर्न्स दिखाएंगे अभी हमें वो और वो यूज किए जा सकते हैं जिस तरह सिंपल पानी का भी पीछे उन्होंने ट्रैकर एक बनाया था पानी के इनटेक का मसला आई गेस सबका ही होता है तो हमें अक्सर यही लगता है कि नहीं आज तो मैंने काफी पानी पिया है लेकिन फिर भी मुझे ये इशू हो रहा है अच्छा कल तो मैं 2 दिन से तो काफी पानी पी रही हूँ वो हो भी सकता है कि आप काफी पी रहे हो लेकिन हो सकता है कि आपको सही से याद ही ना रहे कि आपने 2 ग्लास पिए हैं पूरे दिन में या 4 या 6 या 8 तो जब आप उस चीज को ट्रैक कर रहे हैं तो आपको अंदाजा होगा कि अच्छा आज तो कम ही पिया है मुझे लग रहा था कि मैंने ज्यादा पिया है लेकिन अच्छा मुझे कल इससे तो थोड़ा सा एक कॉन्शियस आप एफर्ट कर सकते हैं किसी चीज को बेहतर करने के लिए किसी चीज को ओवरकम करने के लिए और आप ट्रिगर्स आइडेंटिफाई कर सकते हैं बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट है ट्रिगर्स आइडेंटिफाई कर सकते हैं कि आप ऐसा ऐसा कब फील करते हैं जब ये चीज होती है तो आपको उसके बाद समझ आ जाएगी जैसे समटाइम्स कुछ लोग कॉफी पीने के बाद कुछ लोगों को कॉफी सूट नहीं करती, पर तरह की चीजें उनके इश्यूज आते हैं हेल्थ वाइज, तो आइडेंटिफाई किया जा सकता है कि अच्छा मैंने लास्ट टाइम भी कॉफी पी थी तो ये हुआ था, और तब भी हम बाहर गए हुए थे और हमने कॉफी पी थी, और तो आप अपने आप को ट्रैक कर सकते हैं, ट्रैकर्स हेंस द नेम, कि आप आइडेंटिफाई कर सकते हैं एक्चुअली कि क्या चीज किस वजह से हो रही है। और ओके, यस मार्सा।
Okay. Do we have any questions regarding to mood trackers? We will see other
No, so
examples, but
mm, no, so far no questions, just comments.
okay. Now we're going
Okay.
to go to the next. I think the next slide. Yes, it's the next tool, and it's a gratitude log. When we start doing this exercise, it just per se, just to see in paper the things that happen in our life that make us grateful, it just for the sake of that, it creates a positive attitude.
Hmm.
Having that positive a positive attitude change our um, the way we see our lives. When we go back to our gratitude log and we see that there's every single day a reason for the because I'm grateful for, then it helps us to be more focused and to be better in the future and be content with the things that we already have. It increases
Hmm.
positivity and self esteem when we realize that we have many things that most of the time we overlook. It reduces stress
Hmm.
because when we start doing these exercises, we realize we have some tools that we don't seem as important, but it helps us
Hmm.
to have a more optimistic perception of life.
Hmm.
And also, as a bonus, it keeps the record of beautiful memories. Sometimes we
Hmm.
write,
True.
oh, I'm grateful because I had an amazing day with the kids or with my husband or at school, and this happened, and I feel so blessed and I feel so happy to be alive. When we come back to see our gratitude logs and when we see those words, it triggers the memories. You can go
Hmm.
back to those beautiful memories and put a smile in your face. There are
Hmm.
many ways to make gratitude logs. I put here the simple one that is just lines, and I will note down the days. um, this is just an example for the month of June. So I listed my 30 days, and every day I will write something that I'm grateful for. And this tool, even if it looks very beautiful and easy, sometimes is overwhelming when
Hmm.
we see other people being grateful. So when we
Hmm.
go online and we try to find a nice gratitude log as example for us to follow, we see people being
Hmm.
very poetic about the gratitude. But we don't need that. We don't need
Hmm.
the flourishing. We don't need the stylish words. There's things like, oh my God, I'm so grateful for the nice chicken that I had today at lunch.
Hmm.
It's something very simple. We don't need fancy words. We're really grateful because whatever we had at lunch was yummy, juicy, and steamy, or whatever, and it makes us happy and put us in a happy mood. There, I think there's the starting point when we start simple, and we can elaborate from there. When also this simplicity is also negative in terms of when we start doing gratitude logs, we might start writing the same over and over just for the sake of writing. Because I'm grateful for my family every single day. I'm grateful for the house I live in. I'm grateful for my health. I'm grateful for my parents. Whatever you're grateful for, you're grateful most of the times. So having these sparky phrases in terms of gratitude will also help to interrupt the routine. So I would recommend to start a gratitude log with the light stuff. Like, oh, I'm grateful because the shoes I wear today were so soft and so nice. I could do all my errands and I don't feel tired now. I'm grateful for that. Instead of us, I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for my husband. I'm grateful for my mom. I'm grateful, and try to replicate that. You can now okay, we have a technical problem, so I will continue talking about the gratitude for a little bit. Also, when we see the gratitude log from a more critical perspective, we realize that there's no other option for us than to thrive with the things that we already have. It means like there's no benefit on us complaining and suffering for the things that we don't have. And there's a lot of benefit for us to realize what we have and the tools that we can get used to and start from there. For example, let's have the same example during the thing that is the working one. So I will start business, and I will start mapping out what I want to do. But then I will say, oh yes, I want to do a business, but for example, let's say I'm going to start doing candles. Oh, but I cannot start my business yet because I don't have the containers that I want. I don't have the materials that I want. I don't have the whatever that I need to happen. But then we don't realize what do we have in order to achieve that goal, and maybe we're overlooking many things. So when we are feeling blue over the days, we can use the gratitude log to put us in another mood, just for the sake of knowing all the things that we have. If we are going to list one day all the things that we are grateful during that day, and we will focus in the small things, it will be a huge list. Even if we start, I'm grateful because I'm breathing today. I'm grateful because I woke up today. Even if my reality is not the optimal reality I would like to be living in today, I woke up today. And it means that I can change this reality in the future. Or I have another chance to do things right, or I have another chance to become the person I want to become. And then starting from there, the list is endless from the things that I'm grateful. So having this exercise as a common exercise or a common practice is very beautiful. There's another way to do the gratitude log, and is for the Muslim sisters or their Catholic sisters that like to have a list of prayers for us Muslims for dua. When you start to doing a list of prayers for the things that you want to change or you want to do, it has a similar effect to the gratitude log. During the month of Ramadan, I always do a list of the prayers that I want to do, but I want to do it really specific. Like, for example, Ya Allah, I ask you to help the affairs of this friend of mine that is going through this and that and that. And it also makes me realize many scenarios in my life where I feel the power of my prayers, not only with the response of the higher being, but also with my self-consciousness, with my awareness of the situation that is happening and my response to that situation. So if the gratitude log is not as appealing as a prayer log, or for example, we can use, if we don't feel comfortable, we can check online for quotes or phrases, uplifting phrases that can help us to overcome our emotions. There's logs specifically related to um, oh, give me 1 second. I think I'm not. It's going to come back, but there's other ways to make these logs that will help us to overcome many things in the future. Just let's give Anna a couple of minutes to go back to the streaming so she can do the translation, inshallah. I don't know if I can, if you have any questions, I don't know if I can see it now. Let me check if I can go back. Oh, if I can go back to these. How? Let me check if I can add. No, I cannot see it. Let me check if I can stop sharing and. My God, can you see our? I can see your messages now. Okay. We're having a problem with Amna's connection, so I will try to wrap it up. So Hansa wrote that it's painful to connect to your memory lane how we can manage our grief or sorrow or pain during journaling. This is why we need to know and have a clear intention while we're journaling. It's very difficult to know if we are ready to cope with the emotion. Sometimes there's people that like to write and then burn the papers because they are not ready to deal with it, or they burn the papers just because they already deal with that and they do it as a symbol of closure. There's people that write journals and then cover it with stickers or paint over the painful memories. There are many ways, but since journaling is very subjective, you are the one to decide if you're ready to face your struggles or the trauma or not. I don't know if that answer Hansa's question. I think it's only with trial and error when you realize if you're ready to journaling to explore your feelings. So I think it's a tricky path using the mood trackers, using the gratitude log, and creative writing. It's easier, more light in the surface. Um, Tools to cope with emotions, but in terms of facing our problems and trying to overcome, and especially when we are not ready, it might take time, it might take go back and forth with our thoughts. Okay, I'm going to share the last slide, inshallah, and then we will go to the examples, and I think we will soon. Okay. This is the last spread I wanted to show you guys, and this is just a fun exercise to get to know ourselves. The About Me spreads are a fun way to connect with ourselves. We get to know ourselves better, and we can track how we change over time. So what we do is basically a page where we write. Oh, hold on, I think it's better now. So what we do is we create a page and we talk about our interests, fun facts, our personal information, achievements. We can just write, we can doodle, we can just paint. But when we go back and forth and we see the progress is kind of fun. I remember once I made a post about, I don't know, 25 things about me, and when I checked those 25 things that I wrote years after, I realized that at least 70% of those things were not related to me anymore. Something simple as I'm a coffee drinker, but at that time I didn't know how to make a good coffee, so I was always relying on others or buying coffee from shops. But then I started having my habit of having my coffee in the morning. I find a brand of coffee that I like, and I found a method to do it. So that fun fact that I didn't know how to make coffee was no longer valid. So it's just a fine way just to talk about ourselves, to put these about me spreads here and there every few months, or things like that. Even we can create an about me that is not about me, but the person that I want to be. Like, for example, an about me spread that if I'm going through the business example that I've been talking about, what am I want to be, or what are the skills that I would like to acquire, or how I picture myself in the future. So these spreads are very fun to recreate. There's no need to do with the doodles, as you can see in the screen. You can write only. You can just use some words or use stickers or any other medium to achieve the same result. Now I'm going to stop sharing, and I will show you guys some things that I prepared for you today. So this is some examples of mood tracker. I did this like 3 years ago. So this is one example when we draw just simple hearts, and this I create all the happy faces, sad faces, angry faces, and then every day I will put here, this is a 2-week period. Then I did something more artful here, and I will fill that up with the same pattern here for that. This is a more simple way. So I will list here all the emotions that I want to tackle. As I said before, there's no need for you to use happy, sad, angry. You can use whatever you're feeling, or if you want to address some emotions like I feel discouraged, or I feel overwhelmed, or I realize I'm not being productive, then you can track that emotion here and put it every day here. This is also a period of 2 weeks. Then I created a more comprehensive one that is also important. If we are realize we have a problem and it's not physical or it's really affecting us, we can also do trackers that are more comprehensive, and I'll show you better. So this I did it for you guys for this mirror screen is driving me crazy, but it's basically the same thing. And as I show you here, there's no need only for colors. You can use patterns, just 1 point or whatever. Here is just hearts. For the comprehensive one, I did this. Oh, this is another cute thing. Oh, wait, here. So I wrote like a bookshelf, and it has the 30 days, and I will color in all the emotions. When I go back to this tracker and I see all colorful, I can check what emotions are more common in my life. And if I can see negative emotions more commonly, then I need to take action. If I see I'm living my life depressed, sad, angry, or whatever, I need to take action. And having like display of these emotions will make the recognizing this easier. This is what I was telling you guys. This is the comprehensive one. Sometimes we know we are dealing with some emotions, but uh, we need to go deeper and find the reasons. So I choose the emotions there. I don't know if you guys can see. Please let me know if you can see properly the letters, but this is just example. This is just made up. And I said today I feel, and I put in the feelings: sad, anxious, angry, and happy. And then every day I will write down what is the reason why. So when we have unexpected emotions, like I woke up angry, I don't know why, what's going on, then I will start pondering and talking with myself, what's going on? What is making me angry? Why is this feeling that I have by inside that I need to address? Now, for the gratitude log, I make a simple one, the same as the slides. So it's just all the days for the month, and I will do one line a day. It's just simple. And to make it less overwhelming and less extends, we can also use these when I will write any day, anytime that I feel grateful. There's no need for me to fill this up, just to have a log of my gratitude. Now for the about me pages, I will show you some examples. Like for example, this is, I don't know, this is 2 years old probably. It's just an example. It's not real life, but I did some things of myself. But this is my information, that where I was living, what I was doing, where I'm from, how old I was, and then the things I like, the things I dislike. I think here's better. And then some fun facts about myself, and everything was just writing. Just a couple of doodles here and there. Here, there's another option of doing an about me page. So here the same, it's important always to have the data so we will know when was this, basically. And the things that I love, the things that I don't like, and the fun facts. Same with these. This is just about me, and it's just about random things. It's not like a structured one. It's just, I don't know, random things I like. It's just an example. This is an empty one. Same, the things I'm loving right now, the things I'm enjoying right now. If I'm watching any documentary or series or listening to any podcast or learning anything, I can put it here. I will talk about myself. And then even I can put my weight, my health issues and things that I can I would like to keep a record of. That is what I had for today's workshop. I don't know if you have any questions or any comments. Yes, that's, and it's funny because Kansa just wrote that we evolve continuously, and when we grow up, society tell us that changing is bad. Like when we have a struggle, a problem with a friend, they tell, "Oh, you've changed," and we see that changing in our life like something bad. But to be honest, growing is just beautiful. Have the chance to explore different things, to be different versions of yourself. I think, or I like to think, it's always for better. So when you go back and see the person that you used to be, it's more evident when you have a tracker, or when you have a journal where you can see it properly, and you don't need to relay in your memory. If we don't have any more questions, I think that's it for today. Thank you so much for having me. And as you guys know, if you have any questions, my social media will be written there, or you can leave the comments down there in the video. I think that's it. I hope it is beneficial for you. I hope you guys start journaling your feelings. It will be a great way to grow, especially in these times where realities change drastically. So thank you so much for your time, and salam alaikum, everybody.